Well, tonight we're going to have the tree lighting, and because we couldn't have the Standpipe Festival because of the storm, we're going to actually have fireworks tonight because we needed to use that voucher. We had already bought the fireworks, so that'll be something really different and hopefully exciting. And then December the 7th, we'll have our parade.
That's at 3 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
And are you ready for Christmas?
I'm ready for Christmas. We're going to one and done it this year. One present's going to cover everybody. So. But it's a secret what it is. We do have new decorations around the light post downtown. Can I have your attention, please? On behalf of City Councilor myself, Councilman Greg Eldridge, Administrator Alan Sims, we'd like to welcome you to our 2024 Christmas tree lighting. We have a few special events for y'all tonight, so just hang close and get ready. We appreciate you being here. It's a little bit different tonight because of the schedule of the calendar and because of the Standpipe Festival having to be canceled, but we think it'll be an exciting night tonight. We're so glad you're here. So to kick it off, we're going to turn it over to Allison Darby with the Museum Association.
One to the Belton Area Museum Association's Historic Belton Depot. We're so glad to have you with us today. Today we are honoring 3 extraordinary people who had an impact on the history and present-day history of our town. About 4 years ago, Alan, right? Alan came to the museum and asked if, it had been an awfully hard year during the pandemic. And he said, I think the town needs a reason to celebrate. And so let's think about doing a Belton Hall of Fame. And so a group of citizens met together to kind of map out what that would look like. And then every year since then, we have nominated and had people recognized for their contributions. First year we had 6. We had so many nominations that we had a hard time, didn't we, guys? And then since then we've had 3, 1 in each category, so 3 are recognized. We'll be doing that today, and I would like to turn the program over to Mr. Richard Dorn, who is going to tell you a little bit about our first recipient.
Would the family of Dr. William Carroll Brown please come forward? Born to one of the pioneering families of the Belton area, Dr. William Carroll Brown was instrumental in the formation of his adopted home. His early life was filled with the work of a farmer, clearing land, procuring food from the forest, building a homestead, first in Pickens, South Carolina, then in Union County, Georgia. Because of his keen mind, he was sent to boarding school at Williamston, South Carolina, to a prestigious academy founded by Mr. Wesley Leverett of Calhoun Academy fame. After this instruction, in 1850, he served as teacher and schoolmaster of Belton Academy while reading medicine under his uncle, the esteemed Dr. George Reese Brown. He then proceeded to enter Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he obtained his medical degree in March of 1855. He returned to Belton to practice in medical partnership with his uncle until he was able to purchase his uncle's practice and land holdings in 1857. During this time, he married Anna Louise Dean in 1856, and later they built a lovely house called The Shadows on present-day Brown Avenue, formerly Creighton Street. He met patients in a small one-room house with a large fireplace built across the street from his home, present-day Carroll Lane, where he also mixed medicines to serve his patients. A large group of young men came to read medicine under him. Such was his renown as a wise and cutting-edge physician. When the Civil War broke out in 1861, Dr. Brown volunteered for duty with the Confederate Army. After just a few months of service, the city fathers and a huge number of citizens petitioned to have him released from duty, stating that their medical needs were greater than those of the Confederate Army. So he was allowed to return home to serve the people here. He and his wife were blessed with 9 children, but when 4 died of diphtheria within a week in 1873, he turned to the church and became a member of the Belton First Baptist Church, where he served as deacon for a number of years. As his practice grew, he was able to acquire more land, grow more cotton, and raise more farm animals, becoming eventually one of the largest landowners in Belton. In 1873, he was elected president of the Taxpayers Union from Anderson County. Then, in 1876, he sought a seat in the state government, the Wallace House, serving with the Red Shirt Brigade of Democrats who claimed their government was legitimate in the hotly contested and fraud-ridden November race. Sleeping on the cold floor of the House chambers and missing meals, awaiting attack at any moment opposing government, he contracted bronchitis, which weakened his lungs. Such were his diplomatic abilities, his popularity, and his common sense approach to serving people. He was reelected in 1878 and served until 1880, when he decided to run for the Senate and returned home to his duties as physician and owner of 27 farms to manage. Being a man of generous nature, Dr. W.C. Brown also gave land to several churches. 2 pieces of property were given for black churches, Brown Salem Methodist Episcopal Church, ruins are on Moorhead Street, and New Hopewell Baptist on Dorchester Road, and 1 for the building of the Dorchester Church. He died in December 1884 after a short illness of malaria and heart disease at age 55. A tribute written in an Anderson paper states, "The lessons of Dr. W.C. Brown's life is a valuable one. He began life in very humble circumstances, but he determined to make the best possible use of his powers and opportunities. So it has turned out by earnest labor, wise economy, judicious investment, ready courtesies, thoughtful generosity, and above all, as he himself distinctly acknowledged, the blessings of God on his endeavors. He has left behind a comfortable estate for his family and a large circle of sincere friends among rich and poor, white and black alike." Dr. William Carroll Brown is buried in Belton Cemetery. We recognize the many contributions to the formation of this city by awarding Dr. William Carroll Brown a place in Belton's Hall of Fame.
All right, folks. Now we're going to recognize the person, the recipient, in the deceased category. Would the family of Matthew Creighton please come to the front? How many of you went to BHP? How many of you remember Mr. Creighton? Oh, yes. He was a powerhouse, wasn't he? Matthew Creighton was born in Walhalla, South Carolina on April the 8th, 1928. And at the age of 17, he volunteered and joined the U.S. Navy in 1945. He was a World War II veteran, having served 3.5 years out of San Francisco, California, and Honolulu, Hawaii, on the aircraft carrier USS Saratoga. Now, at that time, the Saratoga was retrofitted as a carrier qualification training center until the Japanese surrendered on September of 1945. And then it served as the ship that brought back all the American servicemen from the Pacific Theater back home. Matthew participated in these missions. After his military service, he attended Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina on the GI Bill. He was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity and earned varsity letters in football and basketball before graduating with a BS degree in science in 1953. Matthew began teaching at Gant Rosenwald School, the African-American elementary school in Honeypath, in 1953. Then he moved to Gear Gant High School in Belton. There he taught science and physical education, and later he became the assistant principal and eventually the principal of this high school. One of his greatest joys was coaching. He coached basketball, boys and girls, and football. And in 1968, under his leadership, the Hornet boys basketball and football teams won the state championships. In 1969, Matthew moved to Belton Honeypath High School, where he served as a model for the final integration process of Anderson School District 2. He continued his teaching and coaching careers at BHP. After he received his master's degree in education from Clemson University in 1972, he became a full-time BHP assistant principal. In 1985, he retired after serving the school district for 42 years. During those many years, his motto was always to treat people fairly, firmly, and consistently. And anyone sent to his office for discipline was quickly set on the right path. He was also a trusted advisee and confidant to his colleagues, and his wisdom and no-nonsense approach to problems and situations were highly sought after by his peers. His sense of humor was also able to diffuse any tense situation. In the community, Matthew served as a member of the Wachovia, which is now SCN Minority Council, and the Wachovia SCN Bank Board of Directors for many years. He was past president of the Anderson County Education Association and a member of the Constitution Committee of Secondary School Principals. He served as a delegate to the National Education Association and the Southern Association of South Carolina Education. As a member of Mount Zion Baptist Church in Belton, Matthew served as a deacon, music, Sunday school, and trustee ministries. He loved the Lord and loved equipping saints for ministry. Matthew was married to Ruby Watson Lindsay Creighton for nearly 43 years. They had a son, the late David, and his wife Daisy Lindsay of Belton, two daughters, Lynn Creighton, his husband is Carlton Griffith, and of Belton, and Sherry, his husband is Matthias Lennon of Georgetown, South Carolina. 5 grandchildren, Angie and Byron Lindsay, Stacy Griffith, Deja, and Creighton Lennon. He also had many relatives and students who called him Uncle Mac. As a coach, mentor, teacher, community volunteer, and religious leader, Matthew Creighton had a tremendous impact on the citizens of Belton during his long and productive life. Angie, it is with great pleasure that he be awarded as the 2024 Deceased Category recipient for the City of Belton Hall of Fame.
As the Belton Hall of Fame Living Category recipient, we are proud to recognize Belton's official ambassador, Martha Keys Bagley. Martha was born in Belton on October 10, 1924, grew up on South Main Street, and attended Belton schools. Playing tennis was a favorite activity for Martha and many of her young friends. After graduating from Belton High School, she attended the Greenville Women's College at Furman University. Because of her vivacious and caring personality, Martha was elected president of her freshman class and president of the student body in her senior year. In 1946, she married Booker Bagby. For 38 years, he was the pastor of several Baptist churches in South Carolina, and finally on the staff at Connie Maxwell Children's Home. During these years, Martha shared her love of reading with students by teaching for a federally funded reading program at both Geer Rosenwald Elementary and Connie Maxwell Children's Home. She was also very involved in Booker's ministry, serving as director of music in many of the churches he pastored. Upon their retirement, Martha and Booker chose Belton as their home. They immediately became involved in the community and active in First Baptist Church. Martha was the first female elected to serve as deacon in the church. For many years, she taught the Fidelis Sunday School class. The class she still attends. She has been active in the senior adult ministry, choir, and handbell programs. She spearheaded the formation of the Church Bereavement Committee. In addition, she organized outreach ministries at Patrick B. Harris, Richard B. Campbell Veterans Home, the Maples, and several other assisted living facilities in Anderson. Martha also participated in a World Changers mission trips with the young people of her church. Her involvement and dedication has enriched the lives of generations of people in and around Belton. Martha and Booker chose Belton for their retirement because of her love of the people and opportunities the town presented. Together, they have supported the American Legion, Belton Center for the Arts, and Belton Area Museum Association. Shop locally may be a new catchphrase, but Martha has always practiced and believed in that motto. As a voracious reader, Martha frequents the Belton Library. She is knowledgeable of the town's history and interested in its current events. She is an ambassador for Belton, sharing her love of the hometown with all of those with whom she comes in contact, especially newcomers. On Friday nights during football season, Martha is close to her radio listening to the broadcast of the BHB football games. Several years ago, she had the honor of giving the team a pep talk before the game. As an avid sports enthusiast, Martha keeps abreast of BHB school sports, Belton recreation sports, and Belton tennis. Her interest in support of young people in sports makes her one of the town's biggest cheerleaders. Perhaps Martha's greatest contribution to Belton and beyond are the interactions she has with people. Her kindness, concern, and thoughtfulness, encouragement, and love for others have affected young and old in the community. Though small in stature, her impact has been and continues to be enormous. We're very pleased to award her accomplishments with her induction today into the Belton Hall of Fame.
Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3,